Hello, I'm Antonio Neves, and this is 3-Minute Ad Age. Few television content producers can top Ken Burns for the worldwide acclaim and audiences their creations have drawn. Over the last 30 years, Burns has produced 20 major documentaries, some of them as long as 18 hours. And beginning with his 1990 The Civil War, they have also been some of the most remembered media events of the entire age of television. Last week, Burns appeared at the Grand Hyatt New York to be honored in the 7th Annual Giants of Broadcasting Award ceremony. The event is produced by the Library of American Broadcasting Foundation.
I have, in my very fortunate and lucky career, been involved in the power of history, and I have been interested in its many varied voices, not just the voices of the old top-down version of our past, which would tell us, try to convince us that American history is only the story of great men, capital G, capital M, but those other voices that tell a different kind of history. I'm interested in that power of history, and I'm interested in those many voices. We've been unafraid of controversy and tragedy, but equally drawn to those stories and moments that suggest an abiding faith in the human spirit, and particularly the unique role this remarkable and sometimes dysfunctional republic seems to play in the positive progress of mankind. That quite simply has been my creed, my mantra, the lens through which we have tried to see our history, to share our histories, one to the other. And I have been very fortunate. In a way, we've made the same film over and over again, each one asking a deceptively simple question: who are we? Who are those strange and complicated people who like to call themselves Americans? What does an investigation of the past tell us about not only where we've been, but where we are and where we may be going? And through the great offices and protection of PBS, I have enjoyed the ability to try to share these stories with you now for more than 30 years. And the first film I made for PBS was on the building of the Brooklyn Bridge. The last word of that film was from Arthur Miller, who I had interviewed sort of accidentally about the Brooklyn Bridge. And he gave me a statement that, not similar to Charles Foster Kane and Citizen Kane's Declaration of Principles, I sort of tacked up into my heart. Thinking about the Brooklyn Bridge, he said, you see, the city is fundamentally a practical utilitarian invention. And suddenly you see this steel poetry sticking there, and it's a shock. I mean, he could have built another Manhattan Bridge, but he didn't. He really aspired to do something gorgeous. So it makes you wonder whether you, too, could add something that would last and be beautiful.
And that's it for this 3-Minute Ad Age. Thanks for being with us. I'm Antonio Neves at Advertising Agent New York.